Good morning. It is Trichology Tuesday Tea with Tracy, where I spill the tea on all things trichology. So I thought, since it is Alopecia Awareness Month, August is Alopecia Awareness Month, that I should come on and just share something around alopecia. Alopecia just kind of really does simply mean hair loss. But there are many different types of hair loss. So I just kind of wanted to share a few of the different types of hair loss, kind of make you aware of the different types of hair loss. So if you're experiencing any, or if maybe a family member or a friend is experiencing some, you might be able to pass on some information to them. So there's different, again, alopecia just simply means hair loss. But some of the different types of hair loss, I think the most common that I definitely see is female and male pattern thinning. And, the terminology changes over the years. Trichology is continually changing all the time. But it used to be commonly referred to as androgenetic alopecia. And part of the reason it had that term is because it was said to be genetic, linked to your genetics. And it is linked to your genetics in many cases, but it's not the only cause for female and male pattern thinning. So that's one of the reasons they changed the name from androgenetic to female or male pattern thinning. So it can happen to males or females. Many times there is a genetic predisposition, meaning that either mom or dad or both may have experienced thinning hair in the front and or top of the head, around the hairline is kind of where you most commonly see female and male pattern thinning. If you're a woman and you're starting to see that your hair gets kind of thin in this area at the top, the part is starting to get a bit wider than what it used to be. You're not able to wear some styles like you used to without it looking spacey, like a lot of space, even when you part the hair or wear braids or different styles. You're having to do a little bit more to cover. Then you might be experiencing some female pattern thinning. And men, sometimes you see the hairline receding, or it gets a little bit thinner in the top. You can see through to the scalp a bit more. It gets lighter and lighter over time. It's sometimes associated with some inflammation, and it might be silent. The inflammation may be silent, or you might have some clinical features such as tenderness or itching or even swelling. You might see, you're looking at your scalp and you feel like it's a bit puffier or raised than what it should be. So that could be some features, clinical features for inflammation of the follicles, which is sometimes present with female and male pattern thinning. So if you feel like you see yourself in any of those examples, you might want to reach out to a comprehensive consultation. You could be in the very early hair loss. So you want to see a professional as soon as possible. Many times what I find in the clinic is that people have waited until it's become a more advanced. For women, sometimes a trigger can be hormonal change, like when you have children, or you stop or start birth control pills, or you or doing menopause. That's one of the times when women may see a change in hormones, which can trigger female pattern thinning. So, and then we start doing things like, we know that there's a difference because we start adding pieces, doing weaves, pulling the hair up, kind of doing things to camouflage the thinning area. So rather than doing that, you might want to reach out to a trichologist or dermatologist and have a consult and start defending against it. So there's female male pattern thinning. Another common one is diffused alopecia or telogen effluvium, or what's commonly referred to as shedding, excessive shedding. That is a type of alopecia. It's a type of hair loss. Diffused hair loss or telogen effluvium has many causes, but some of the more common is vitamin and mineral deficiency. After pregnancy, you experience telogen effluvium. Now, telogen effluvium can be temporary, self-correcting, like with having a baby. So you have a baby, and then you start diffusing or shedding excessively. So 50 to 100 strands is normal. That may seem like a lot, but that is normal. 50 to 100 strands is normal hair to shed on a daily basis. If you wear protective styles like I do, like I'm going to take my hair down just here in a couple of days and I don't know, either redo it or wear my hair, one of the two. But I'm going to see an excess of shedding because I've had my hair up and protected, right? So I'm not combing my hair every day outside of the sides where it's shaved. So I am going to see more than I would see normally. So that's normal. But if you're combing your hair every day and you're seeing an excess of 50 to 100 strands, then you might want to make an appointment to see a dermatologist and or a trichologist to see why. So it could be vitamin and mineral deficiency. So if you're anemic, you may experience telogen effluvium. If you have a deficiency in vitamin D or C or any of the Bs, then you can experience telogen effluvium. And that will be permanent until cause is corrected, because it will continue to diffuse until you correct the issue. So if you're seeing that, you know, you want to see a professional and figure out what's the underlying cause and then address it. Another common hair loss is, CCCA, which is center centrifugal cicatricial alopecia. It's really common in the African American community. It can happen in other communities, but it's really seen in the African American community. And that is where you experience hair loss in the center. It starts out in the center of your head. Many times it shows up as folliculized caverns early on, so inflammation of the follicles. And then when that inflammation is not addressed, it starts to scar over. And so many times people don't address it until it's in the more advanced phases or stages, because in the earlier stages, they camouflage it, wear ponytails, weaves, and other things to hide what's happening, because they don't understand that follicular destruction is happening, and it will get to a place where it can be permanent hair loss. Another type of scarring alopecia is frontal fibrosing. It can be mistaken as female or male pattern thinning, and it happens mostly in females. I've not ever even seen it in males, but with frontal fibrosing, the hair is lost around the hairline. It sometimes feels like if you rub your hands over the follicles, it almost feels like a cheese grater. It's kind of rough. But it is a scarring type alopecia. It's mostly seen in Caucasian communities, although I've seen it in African American community as well. My mother-in-law actually experienced frontal fibrosing, and I've had some clients that have frontal fibrosing. So it can be mistaken or sometimes even accompany female pattern thinning, so it's sometimes missed. So you want to make sure to be thorough in the consults for those of you who are practitioners or trichologists when you diagnose frontal fibrosing or a female pattern thinning. And then there's traction. Traction is pretty common. Traction can present itself with or without scarring. So, and it's usually caused by excessive tension, and that could be anywhere on the head. Sometimes it's also associated with wearing extensions, tape-ins, clip-ins, anywhere where there's excessive tension in the same area constantly. You can experience some traction, alopecia. And when that's done too often and not addressed, it can lead to scarring alopecia. So we have traction alopecia, and so female pattern thinning, male pattern thinning, traction alopecia, frontal fibrosing, and then there is discoid lupus. So that is a type of scarring alopecia. So I also have a client that experienced that type of alopecia. If you have discoid lupus and you start experiencing some inflammation on the scalp and you notice that you are experiencing some hair loss, you want to see a trichologist. You don't want to wait until it gets to be advanced because it can show up in different areas of the head. You want to get in to address the underlying cause so that you can try and prevent further destruction of the follicles. And then let's see, what am I missing? Some of the more common. I think those are really the more common types of hair loss. But regardless to the type, the more important information is to, if you think that you're experiencing any hair loss at all, to address it early on. Can the lupus one get better? It can. It absolutely can get better. The key to it getting better is addressing root causes, underlying causes of why it's happening. So if the follicles are inflamed, then you want to address the inflammation internally as well as externally. If you're not addressing the lupus, you need to address that. That may involve some supplementation. I'm a holistic practitioner as well, so whenever possible, I take a holistic approach to hair loss and scalp problems. But yes, it most certainly can get better. You want to start with getting in to see a professional so that they can help you with what would be important to address root causes as it really relates to lupus. So thanks for asking that question. Thank you for asking that question. What else did I want to share about? Healthy scalp. I wanted to share a little bit about that because I think it's underrated. It's very important that we maintain not only healthy hair, but a healthy scalp, because it's almost impossible to grow healthy hair from an unhealthy scalp. And sometimes having an unhealthy scalp can lead to different types of scalp maladies that in turn can lead to hair loss. So for instance, if you're experiencing some psoriasis or eczema or seborrheic dermatitis, I've been seeing a lot of seborrheic dermatitis in the clinic more recently, like this past year, like in 2024, and even this year, lots of seborrheic dermatitis. And I think a lot of it is tied to us not understanding how to care for our scalp and our diet and the effects that it has on our gut, and then in turn can have on our scalp health. So shampooing often is important. Shampooing often with a pH balanced shampoo and or a treatment shampoo if you are actually experiencing seborrheic dermatitis or psoriasis or eczema. But sometimes it leads to itchy scalp, and we're scratching the scalp and increasing inflammation on the scalp, leading to folliculized cell caverns, leading to scarring, alopecia. So having a healthy scalp is very important as well. So just wanted to come on and spill a little tea for Alopecia Awareness Month, and to encourage you to not wait. If you think that you're experiencing some hair loss, get in to see us. I'm located in Riverside at 6927 Brockton Avenue, Suite B. If you're not in the area, I do offer virtual consultations as well. I'm a part of various associations. You're very welcome. I'm a part of various associations. One is International Associations of Trichologists, which is who I am certified with. And speaking of that, I'll actually we have a conference every year, and this year's conference is going to be in New York. So I'll be traveling to New York to be a part of the conference there this coming Sunday and Monday, August the 24th and 25th. So if you're in the area, or if you're not in the area, it's not too late to join us. If you're a trichologist, a cosmetologist, a barber, a dermatologist, or you just want to know more about hair loss, it's going to be an awesome conference. I'm also part of Holistic Practitioners of Trichology, and they're going to be sponsors at the conference this year. So that's going to be a real treat. And I'm also a presenter. So I have a signature class I call it now Chair to Clinic, how to transition from behind the chair, from cosmetology or even barbering to trichology. So I'll be presenting on transitioning. It's my signature class. When I first started in the industry, there was no one to assist me with transitioning. I really had to kind of figure it out on my own. And so after doing that, I decided to create a class. And so I teach other practitioners, trichologists, cosmetologists, barbers, how to transition effectively. Cosmetology and trichology are two very different practices. And so it's important that you know the components of what's different about them and how to put them into practice. So I'll be sharing that at the conference. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that. But even more so, I'm excited to go and sit under some of the leaders in our industry and to learn. So thank you for those who joined me, who hopped on and who joined me this morning for Trichology Tuesday Tea with Tracy, where I spill the tea on all things trichology. I hope that the information is helpful to someone out there in helping them to identify whether or not they're having hair loss issues and need to get in to see a professional in trichology. So have an awesome day on today, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.